So this business is making $35 million a year. The cool thing about this is that you can copy this exact business. Check this out. So I recently learned about this business that's making the owner $35 million a year in sales. So as soon as I heard, a few questions popped in my head. Obviously, well, what's the business? What do they even do? Then what's the profit margin? Because $35 million in sales is not the same as profits. And then the last one is, could I copy this business? I mean, if someone's out there making $35 million a year, is there a way for me to even duplicate the results? Even if I could produce half of that or a quarter of that, I'd be putting myself in a good position. So let's dive in. All right, so if you're new here, my name is Tariq Johnson. I had 9 failed businesses from the ages of 18 to 27. And since then, my last 3 businesses have all done 7 figures in sales. That all started when I bought my first franchise in 2015. And one of my missions is to help decrease the high failure rate of small business owners that I experienced early on. But enough about me. Let's talk business. This business is a closet business. So they do custom closets. Think home offices, garages, entertainment centers, wine cabinets, all of that cool stuff. Now, my first thought is that it sounds complicated. Yes and no. Let's talk some numbers and then we can get back to the actual operations of the business. So it turns out that this business is a franchise. And because of that, I was able to actually find out how much the owners are making in this business. So when I dug into their public legal records, I was able to see that the top performing franchise owners did $35.2 million in sales in 2023. And the lowest performer did $420,000 in sales. Now that's obviously a huge range. The average owner though does $5.39 million in sales, which is nothing to cry about. The median, which is just taking the number in the exact middle out of all the franchise owners, does about $4 million in sales. Now you may think a business like that, what sort of profits does it produce, right? People all the time are like, I don't care about sales. Sales means nothing. Look, I get it. Sales does mean something because in order to generate profits, you have to have high sales first. And the reality is there's some businesses that they intentionally grow larger first, keep their profits low to reinvest into the business, and then eventually, once they hit a high number of sales, they can streamline everything and make it more profitable. But I'm with you. If you're looking at cash flow from the business, support your family, pay your bills, then you definitely want to know the profits. Now this business, they don't actually reveal their profit margins, but here's what I tell business owners is generally, you're going to want to target profits between 10% to 30% overall. If you're doing 10%, you're doing good. If you're doing 20%, that's great. If you're able to produce 30% profit margins, that's exceptional, especially in a business like this where you have a lot of labor, you have equipment, etc. So now that we know the numbers, how does the business actually work and how are these people making so much money? Well, it's a great question. So it turns out there's actually a lot of non-food franchises that are making a killing. I recently researched and put together a 17-page PDF on 5 low-cost franchises that make $1 million in sales. You can grab it in the comments or the description below. But there's 4 main reasons for the company's success. The company's name is actually called Closet Factory. The company was originally founded in 1983 by John LaBarbera, who's still the CEO to this day. So while everyone and their mom wants overnight success in starting a business, this guy's been running this business for longer than I've been alive, 41 years. He also operates 6 corporate locations out of the 78 franchisee-owned locations. What do they do exactly? I mean, outside of their name saying it all, Closet Factory will market, design, manufacture, construct, install, repair, and service custom closets and storage systems for residential customers. They have a larger range of products than really any of their competitors, and their project is customized to the homeowner. Now you'd own a facility where all the manufacturing is actually done in-house, and you'll have a handful of employees with this franchise from day one. So when a customer signs up for a job, what happens is they'll pay you about 50% upfront, which covers all of your costs to actually do the project. And then you collect the rest of the payment once the project's complete. Now, Closet Factory franchisees are very collaborative, and what happens is you're actually given a franchisee as a mentor when you become a franchisee. So, although there's a lot of people that hate on franchising, that's one of the great things about it is that there's a proven model for success. And imagine coming into a business where your mentor is already doing $5, $10, $15 million in sales in that same exact business that you're running. Think of the advantage that would put you at versus the average person who's starting a business trying to figure everything out as they go. Now, outside of what makes their business different, they actually have a partnership with Costco. So each franchise owner will be able to have a kiosk in Costco in whatever territory they own, providing incredible exposure and opportunity to get in front of potential customers, literally thousands of people a day. So again, compare that to someone starting their own thing from scratch. You're trying to figure out all the different parts as you go, trying to figure out sales and marketing, you're trying to figure out manufacturing and service, all of that. So again, these owners from day one know they have a proven blueprint and game plan. That does come at a cost though. So this business has a franchise fee of $58,500, and the total investment range to get it up and running is between $344,000 to $611,000. We'll break down what's included in those startup costs in just a minute. But another part of their big average sales are their huge territory sizes spanning around 500,000 in population. If you're not familiar with the way that franchises work, especially service-based franchises, what happens is, like, I live in Orlando. So if I buy a franchise in Orlando, then I get a protected territory or certain amount of zip codes with a certain amount of population or households that none of the other franchisees can come and do business in my protected territory. But back to startup costs. So you can see that the franchise fee is really just a small percentage of the total startup cost, around 10 to 15%. But most of the startup costs go to equipment, fixtures, and furnitures of the warehouse that you will be manufacturing your actual product. There are competitors, and even in the franchise space, but to my knowledge, none of them actually manufacture their products in-house. They typically outsource it. So although this makes the business more complex operationally to run, I would imagine that it creates much higher profit potential and higher profit margins. Going back to startup costs, another $30,000 to $55,000 of the startup costs are in the required grand opening marketing program. So that's really just an investment into your own business to get in front of potential customers, whether that's mailers or radio and TV commercials, social media ads, etc. Then about $40,000 to $90,000 of the startup costs just go towards additional funds to keep aside in your business account. So all in all, what do you think of this type of business? Is this something that you would pursue? If so, and you want to see if there are any franchises available in your area, you can check out franchiseempire.com/check territory, and our team will be able to do a search for you and see if that franchise is available in your area or what franchises are available in your area. Now, another cool thing about this franchise is that because it's been around so long, sometimes you have successful owners who are now looking to retire and sell. So the possibility of buying an existing franchise location that's already generating money, that already has a team in place, could be an attractive option as well. Now, recently I broke down 7 businesses in a similar way, diving into their average sales, profit margin, startup cost, and you can watch that video right here. Make sure to hit subscribe before you go, and I will see you on the next one.